Good afternoon everybody, and not only welcome back to the channel but also welcome for the first time to Kyrgyzstan. I'm here in Narin. It is 3 days before the start of the Silk Road Mountain Race 2023. Myself and client Neil have been getting some acclimatization in, getting some good rides done, and yeah, generally having a great time. The countryside is stunning. The weather has been variable, shall we say. We've had everything bar snow so far, and I'm pretty sure we'll see that before the end of the race is out. But for now, sat outside our guest house here in Narin. It is hot in the sun, so if I end up a sweaty mess, do forgive me. Right, this is the third in a series of 4 YouTube videos looking at the equipment that I will be taking on the Silk Road Mountain Race 2023, and today we're going to talk about clothing. Now, similar to the episode about sleep systems, clothing is a bit challenging here because we've got to deal with everything from probably 30-35 degrees during the day, especially when we're lower down near Bishkek coming off the Kegeti Pass, but also when we're high up, temperatures potentially as low as -10, which is very cold indeed, especially if you've just got to the end of the day and you're setting up camp and you're no longer riding on your bike. So again, a lot of thought and a lot of testing has had to go into what equipment I'll take. So let's run through the clothing. I'm going to start let's go inside out and start with the daily riding kit, and we will work out from there into the rest of the warm weather clothing and wet weather clothing. So let's start with the top half. My main riding jersey is going to be this 7 mesh jersey. It's a very, very new addition to the wardrobe. What's really good about this is it's one of the best materials I've come across in terms of wicking ability. I was riding with this the other day, and you just stay really, really dry in it, which is very, very good. It's also got suspended rear pockets, so you can stuff the rear pockets full and it doesn't make the actual fit of the fabric bulge out of shape. Now, I won't be using the pockets because I'll be using a rucksack with my hydration bladder. But yeah, so 7 mesh top. Along with that, I always tend to carry some SPF arms or SPF sleeves. These are really, really good for a couple of reasons. One, they keep you warm when it gets a little bit cold. They're very, very good at keeping the sun off, so they have an equivalent SPF factor of 50, which means I don't need to put so much sunscreen on, and great if you forget to put it on. They have saved my arms quite a few times. But also, when it's really, really hot, you can drench these in water or dip your arms in a mountain stream, and then you get a really, really good evaporative cooling effect. So they're worthwhile, and they take up absolutely no space at all. Shorts, for the first time ever, I will be taking 2 pairs of shorts. I'm taking 1 set of Albion cargo bibs and 1 set of 7 mesh cargo bibs. I use cargo bibs for the first time on Trans-Balkans, and I will never buy a set of bibs without cargo pockets again. Incredibly, incredibly useful. They make wearing non-cycling jerseys really good because you can still stuff things in the pockets. Both have got side pockets on. Then the 7 mesh ones have got 3, if you can see that, 3 small pockets down the back. And the Albion has 1 big pocket at the back. We shall see which one is more useful. Both have got quite thin endurance pads on, which I get on quite well with. First time using these on a proper race, but in kind of short testing they've been quite comfy, and I used these on Trans-Balkans and the comfort was excellent. So that is shorts, shorts top. On the feet, I'm taking 2 pairs of socks, both geared towards keeping my feet fairly warm. I'll just deal with it when it's hot weather and just accept that I'm going to get sweaty, horrible feet. 1 set of merino socks. These are some fairly cheap nuke-proof ones that I got from Wiggle. And then this is a set of Bridgedale ones that I picked up because I didn't take enough socks on the Dot Booster Academy. So there we go. Bridgedale socks, they're quite nice. They're synthetic. Moving on to how I'm going to layer up the warmth when it gets cold. First of all, first line of defence for the legs is a set of thermal leg warmers. These are some Castelli Nanoflex ones. They're always my go-to for keeping my legs warm. Now normally I would take some arm warmers as well, but given there's probably going to be quite a lot of times where it's cold, I'm actually taking a long sleeve thermal top like this. Again, happens to be a Castelli one, but there's all kinds of different brands that make just a all-purpose warm polypropylene, say that one fast, polypropylene jersey. It's really good because again it wicks the sweat away really well, it dries really fast, and it keeps you nice and toasty warm. So that's the first layer of clothing to keep me warm. I'm also taking a Pedale gilet. It's got an Alpha Fleece inside it and then a windproof layer on top. I left it back at my hotel room, so it's not here, you can't see it, but it's one of my best bits of kit. If you go check out my my Dorset Divide packing video, you'll see it there. That's super useful. As soon as it gets a little bit chilly, stick it on. You can ride up in it, you can ride down in it. Dries really fast, wicks the sweat really fast, so very, very good bit of kit. And then continuing, if it then continues to get colder, so I'm at the top of the descent, then I have a fleece layer, which is long sleeve fleece layer. Again, this is a Castelli it's Polartec Alpha Fleece, made by Castelli, which the good thing about this Alpha Fleece, you probably can't see there, but it's very open weave, and so sweat passes through really, really well. So it's very, very good for riding in. Now this will always need to go underneath a windproof layer, and I'll get onto those windproof layers in a bit because I've got two options there. So this is as we're starting to get pretty chilly. The next layer of defence on the legs, if it's starting to get really cold, and this will potentially be really, really useful in the morning when I get up. If I'm bivvying out high and it is kind of minus 10 degrees when I wake up, I'm just going to want to get straight into something warm. Now these are some 3/4 length insulated trousers. I found out about these from Katie Jane Lapinier, who did Silk Road, I think, back in either 2019 or 2021. I've probably got that wrong, but she told me about 3/4 length down trousers. Now I've managed to find these synthetic ones from Helly Hansen, which got full length zips down the side, so they'll be dead easy to put on and off even when I've got all my other kit on, and they'll keep me nice and toasty warm first thing in the morning until it warms up and I can take those off. Right, now windproof and extra warmth layers on top, especially for when you get to camp and it is really, really cold. First of all, I have this Cumulus down jacket, so same make as the sleeping bag that I went through in episode 2. This is their super, super lightweight jacket. I can't remember the name, I'll leave it in the comments down below when I update them. But this is very lightweight, very small packing, but it's got very high fill power on the down. So this is actually super, super toasty, and if I put that over my Alpha Fleece, then that's a really, really warm combination. That's probably going to keep me warm down to minus an awful lot of numbers. Now, waterproof layers is the final piece of the puzzle. That should be plenty there to keep me warm, but as I've seen so far being here in Kyrgyzstan, it's always likely to rain every single day. So how do I keep myself dry? And let's start with the feet upwards. So on the feet I'm using, can't find the other one, it's here somewhere. I've just got some kind of fairly thick sealskin waterproof socks. These will, if it looks like it's a prolonged period of rain, I can stick these on. My feet will hopefully stay dry enough, but more importantly they will stay nice and warm. That's the important thing, is to keep your feet warm. And because I've got two pairs of socks, I'll always have a dry pair to put on when I either get to camp or when I start the next morning. On the legs, dig more into my bags here. I'm packing as many things as I can into just separate little stuff sacks because it makes it easier to find everything. So on the legs, I'm taking a set of Endura MT500 waterproof trousers. It's been a long saga with trousers that I won't go into. I'm hoping by the time day 2 comes around and I've lost a little bit of weight, these will fit perfectly. They're a little bit tight at the moment, but they still fit. The best thing about these is they're really, really nice to ride in. Best ones I've tried so far before riding in. So yeah, they will be really good. They're going to be really good for cold descents as well, even if it's not raining. You can just throw these on quickly. They got zips that come 3/4 of the way up the side, so you can put it straight on over your cycling shoes and keep the wind off as you're coming downhill. And then finally, on the top half, actually no, let's go to keep my hands dry first. I'm going to come to gloves at the end actually. And then finally, top half, keeping myself dry. This is a new addition to the kit. It is a 7 mesh Sky Pilot Gore-Tex jacket. I did have the Endura MT500 jacket. It's quite bulky and quite weighty. Not that I'm too bothered about weight, but the bulk is quite important. This is super lightweight, but it's full Gore-Tex active shell. You can't really beat Gore-Tex for keeping you dry. It was a toss-up between the Sky Pilot and the 7 mesh Revelation, which uses Gore-Tex Pro Shell. Possibly the Pro Shell might be the better choice for here in Kyrgyzstan, but this should give a broader range of use. It's more breathable and only giving up a little bit in durability and waterproofness. Used it so far a couple of times here in the rain, and it is fantastic. Really good jacket. The water repellent coating is excellent. It's survived quite a few torrential downpours, whereas other jackets and waterproof trousers I've used have wetted out really fast. So an excellent addition to the kit list. That gloves, hands. How am I going to keep my hands warm? Okay, gloves. How am I going to keep my hands warm? And not just warm, how am I going to keep them from getting too tingly and from keeping too much pressure on the ulnar nerve. It's a multifaceted approach to hand comfort. Primary glove that I'll be wearing every day is a set of ASOS fingerless gloves. These are road gloves, but I just found that these were the most comfortable and had the least number of seams in a wrong place. So yeah, that I'll be wearing every day pretty much. And then when it starts to get cold, I've got various options. Generally I'll be using these quite a lot. So this is a very thin set of Castelli Perfetto light gloves. These have a full windproof layer in them. These are great if it's like, you know, down to about 12 degrees. You know, when it gets down to like 16 to 12 degrees, you can feel the cold in your hands, especially if it's getting late in the day. And these do just enough to keep the wind off and keep you warm. If it gets a little bit colder still, I've got some silk liners which can go inside them. So I used these the other day, and it was very good coming downhill. Then as it gets colder still and into kind of the depths of the night, I have some North Face fleece gloves. I use these as liner gloves when I'm skiing. They'll add some warmth. And then finally, for when it's raining, I've got some Black Diamond waterproof overmitts. These are great because you can stuff them in I can stuff them in my backpack, get them out quickly, and they'll just pull on over everything and keep my hands dry. And that, more than anything, is what's important. Is as soon as your gloves get wet, they start to really get cold. So whenever it starts to rain, whether it's warm, whether it's cold, whatever, these will go on and they will keep my hands dry. Now I have brought a set of much warmer gloves with me to Kyrgyzstan, so some full winter gloves. I have not yet decided whether I'm going to take those because they take up a huge amount of space, and I think that if I am layering my silk liners with my fleece gloves and then with my mitts over the top, that will keep me warm enough whilst I'm riding. And then when I've stopped, it's going to be quick as I can, into bed, get to sleep, get warm in my very big sleeping bag. Final kind of bits of kit or miscellaneous items. Take a buff. Buffs are super useful. Always take one of these. It can be a mask, it can be a headscarf to keep the sun off my head, it can go around my neck to keep my neck warm, it can go around the back of my neck to keep the sun off my neck. So many different uses. Then also I'm going to be carrying taking just a lightweight head covering. This will keep the sun off during the day. Again, you can pour water on this and you get an evaporative cooling effect. And there's a little kind of tail at the back which just keeps a little bit of the sun off my neck, and that'll keep Laura happy because she's always telling me off for not putting enough sunscreen on. And finally, I don't think it's here, but I will be taking a more thermal skull cap as well, which I can put on when it starts to get cold. Right, that's it. That's everything I am taking. I have tested most combinations of this down to -2, -3 on races in the UK, and I've been super toasty warm. I've never tried everything all at once because it's just never been cold enough. It has been really, really hard, or it is really, really hard living in the UK to find temperatures that replicate what you'll find here in Kyrgyzstan. But the testing of it down to -3 has been very successful. So again, as with the rest of my kit, I've got a lot of confidence in what I'm taking, that it'll do the job I need. Right, that's it on my clothing. Any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and thank you for all your responses to the other videos so far. It's been great to see that response. If you like the video, please click the like button and do hit subscribe so you can get all the content as it comes in from Kyrgyzstan. Right, that's all from me on clothing. I shall see you again next time, where I will be talking about the bike itself. Okay, catch you later.